belts. Blockbusters. You are listening to the Triple B Podcast. Let's fucking go.
Welcome back to the Triple B Podcast, Bourbon, Belts, and Blockbusters. I'm Ryan.
I'm Tim.
And this is a show where we talk about bourbon and or bourbon-related cocktails. We talk about wrestling, and we talk about movies and TV shows and all sorts of other shit.
Yes, we do.
Hell yeah, brother. Speaking of the bourbon portion, we have our cocktail of the week. Yes, we are doing back-to-back cocktails of the week because we're in charge, and that's what we felt like doing. No, we wanted to do a specialty bourbon for a kind of landmark episode, and next week is our 25th episode, so, you know, it's a quarter of a century. So, yeah. So we decided to just do, instead of doing back-to-back bourbons, we did back-to-back cocktails.
Hell yeah, man.
So that we could get the bourbon ready for next week.
Exactly.
So, this week we're rocking a maple bourbon smash. Tim, this was your recipe choice, I guess, is the way to word that.
I just wanted to continue kind of with the fall vibes that we were going with. And so what this consists of is 2 ounces bourbon. We used the double charred bourbon, the Bibb and Tucker that we did a few episodes ago. It has an ounce of maple syrup. We did a bourbon aged syrup in that as
bourbon
well.
barrel. Let's go.
It has an ounce of lemon juice and then a lemon twist to garnish. There is an option out there to smoke it and do that. So really excited to give this a try.
We did not do the actual smoking of the cocktail for this episode, but that's why we decided to use the Bibb and Tucker double charred, because it has a very smoky quality to it to kind of balance out that layer we were kind of missing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, let's get our little oh, cheers. Yeah, fuck me. See, I was excited. I jumped the gun. Yeah.
That's some good shit.
Yeah.
Just, it's good.
Damn. Yeah.
And you can really, again,
every layer.
All the layers.
Every layer.
Get through it.
And the coolest part about that, which I don't feel like I experienced last week's with the cranberry smash, because we got every layer last week, but I felt like it was like every layer like in an order. Mm-hmm. I just got this at like each layer multiple times, but at different points.
Yes. No.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like the first touch to the tongue was like sweet. It was like I was getting the maple syrup, and then it was like in the mouth. I'm like, oh, I got the bourbon and a little bit of the smokiness, and then as you swallow, it kind of hit the back of like the jaw. Kind of made me salivate a little bit because you're getting the lemon juice. And then it was like I could taste the bourbon barrel aged maple syrup afterward, and it kind of ended with a sweetness on the backside. So
yeah,
damn.
I'm gonna rate this another high one, not a 10, but I'm going with a 9.
Me too. Had my fingers out. You can check the tape. I was already posting a 9. Yep, that was exactly what I was thinking too. I really like it. It's really good. I did like last week's a little more.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know why, honestly. Like I'm having a hard time pinpointing why I liked it more last week, but
I think last week's was like full essence of fall. I think.
Yeah,
like you got
that is true.
Very, very fall. Like this is fallish, but last week really encapsulated it. Maybe.
Yes, I agree.
I think the Bibb and Tucker was a perfect match for this.
Yes,
I think
I
because you
agree.
can
That was
get
a
that
good call.
smoky part through it. So
for sure, that was a good call. If we would have smoked it, I would not have done the Bibb and Tucker, because that would have been. I think that would have been overpowering. It would have been too much. But yeah, this is the perfect like substitute for foregoing smoking it. So
Look at us matching
Yeah,
back-to-back weeks in ratings.
yeah.
Both last week, both a 10, this week a 9. So
Yeah, look at us. Look at us.
look at us.
Would you just look at us? Would you look at us?
Who would have thought?
Who'd have thought?
All
right. Socials.
You can find us on Instagram, X, YouTube, TikTok at TripBPod. We are located on Spotify, Apple, Amazon. We are the Triple B Podcast, Bourbon Belts, and Blockbusters. And you can email us at triplebpod619@gmail.com. So please holla at your boys.
Holla at you boys and let me talk to you.
Yeah.
All right. We have kind of a new thing that we're going to start doing because we realize that every episode we fuck up
Hell yeah.
multiple times. We're human. We also are drinking. And sometimes it's 9:30 in the morning and we're drinking and we're human. And that leads to more mishaps, mistakes being made. We say things wrong. We recall something incorrectly.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we got busy lives,
We
things,
do. We do.
We're just two guys.
I fucking knew it too.
Bullshit.
I knew it. As soon as you said we should do this, the first thing that came to my mind was armchair expert, because I was like, I've thought that we should do something like that before, but I just was like, I don't know if we want to add more or whatever. So when you said, I was like, yeah, I'm fucking here for it.
Yeah,
and that's awesome because I did not know that you got this from armchair expert also.
Yeah. So we're calling this the fact check section. We're gonna do it in our bourbon section, following up some details from previous episode. Because we do bullshit, we're spewing a lot of facts. We're just gonna double check some of the stuff we say,
and the majority of what we are saying is off the top. Like we have our we have like our own notes of things that to help kind of guide us, but for the most part, it's just like a lot of what we talk about is us just like. We're just fucking going,
spewing.
So sometimes, we say the wrong person's name or whatever it is, and we also want to hold ourselves accountable. So I love this.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. So what really got me thinking about this was
Banger of the Week.
Not last week, but the week before. 2
weeks ago. That's right.
He was talking about the Hardy Boys and winning the TNA tag titles.
Yep.
And then he was like, "Oh, it's been a long time," and I was like, "Oh, they won it in AEW," and I was wrong. I vividly remember them winning it.
Gotcha, bitch.
But I was wrong, and so this one
isn't that fucking weird how that works though?
Yeah.
Like you're like, no, like I remember watching this happen, and then you look it up, you're like, it never happened. What the fuck?
They had a match with the Young Bucks, and I remember them winning it, but that's not the case. So Ryan was in fact right on that. So kudos to you.
Did you look up when the last time they had won any tag time titles was? Was it like 2016-ish?
I think so. It was like right before they came back to WWE, I want to say.
Yeah.
Because they had the Ring of Honor tag titles or something like that. But no, you were right. It had been years since they won it.
And hold on, before we continue, I don't know these.
Yeah.
So we're gonna bounce back and forth each week. So like this week, Tim did the fact check, and so I'm hearing all of this incorrect stuff for the first time right now. So, and then next week it'll be the same thing going back the other way. So it's kind of fun for us as well. So here we go. Hit me with them, Timmy. What do we got?
All right. So we were spewing about CM Punk last week, and we were talking about years. How many years had he been away? CM Punk left in 2014, which would make it 9 years when he returned to WWE. So when I said 15 years ago, it was not that long ago.
Okay, because I remember, because we were talking about when he hit Cena with the pile driver.
Yes.
And I had said, I was like 2013, and then you had said the 15 years. I was like, fuck, was it 2009? I was like, when did he leave? So that's okay. That's funny.
My math was wrong. And in fact, that was my next point, is the last pile driver done in WWE was CM Punk against Cena, but it was in 2013.
Hey, there we go.
All right. Going down, we were talking about Spaceballs, and you forgot about one of the actors' names. that was a big part of it.
I still can't fucking remember his name.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids actor, and it was Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis is who.
I was thinking about that on my drive up because I was re-listening to that episode, and I was like, I still can't fucking think of who it was when I was going golfing this morning. I was like, I still don't know who it is.
This one isn't really a fact, but we did talk about the Super Survivor Series match last week and how WCW guys got squashed if they were originally, but I would argue that Goldberg was very successful in WWE. It was a short stint, but he held the title multiple times.
I guess that's true. Yeah. Fair enough.
So it's not a lot of people. I'm not saying your point was invalid. But there was some successful from the WCW.
I stand by Booker being the best though to come from WCW.
For longevity wise, and yes, absolutely.
I stand by that one.
Last week you forgot to put the release date for the end.
Yes,
that is coming out December 6th,
cool.
2024.
Coming up, I like that.
We talked about which Ghost Rider is Jen related to.
Because I was trying to remember that today as well.
And that is Johnny Blaze.
Oh, so it is Nicolas Cage's rendition of it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
We talked about you brought up who makes up the group Midnight Suns. You said Ghost Rider, Daredevil, Punisher, Blade, Moon Knight.
Oh God, how fucking wrong was I?
You were mostly right, but there is no Punisher, no Daredevil. They are not part.
Oh, they're not a part of it.
They're not a part of that.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
We talked about how Nicolas Cage was down or did not make a cameo in the Deadpool Wolverine movie, and I said, we had almost all of Marvel movies in there. Ghost Rider is not a Fox property; it was a Sony property. So
it was Sony. Okay.
Yeah. So he was not a Fox product. So
all right.
You talked about how Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is not canon, and you are correct. The official timeline book of the Marvel Cinematic Universe confirms that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is not considered canon after Phil Coulson's death in The Avengers, but Kevin Feige has acknowledged that there are Marvel stories that are canonically to the multiverse, but not the sacred timeline. So,
gotcha.
So
yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
Then I wasn't. This might not even be a fact check, but. You brought up Midsommar as we were talking about M. Night Shyamalan. It's not an M. Night movie.
Gotcha.
It's Ari Aster is the director of that movie.
That is a fact check because I thought that was M. Night Shyamalan for some reason.
Okay.
So yeah, that is you. You got me on that one.
It
That was definitely a fact
loosely check. Like you mentioned his name, and then we talked about a few things, and then brought up Midsommar.
Yeah. I do still stand by it has qualities of both.
Oh,
though.
for sure. Yes.
I was like, it definitely felt like it had elements of Midsommar, but it also obviously felt like it had M. Night Shyamalan.
And then lastly, did SmackDown versus Raw have creative finisher? And because you said it was in there, and I couldn't remember if it was, and it was introduced in 2009's SmackDown versus Raw.
And that was just me fucking pulling something out because I was like, I'm pretty sure it was before 2K took over.
Yeah.
So, but I was like, I couldn't remember if it was SmackDown versus Raw, and then I was like, was there another version of the game between 2K and SmackDown vs. Raw? But that was it, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it just SmackDown vs. Raw up until 2K took over?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We're going to have to... Okay, that'll be on the fact check next week.
But yeah, no, so not a lot from last week, but I thought this would be fun and just
absolutely.
to go over things, and it's not always just fact. Like we're gonna forget things, and we're gonna have to go back and go, oh, this is who we were talking about.
Yeah, or like the date, right? I forgot to put the date for the end on the release date for it on, and I was just in the midst of typing everything out.
Yeah.
It happens, man. I like it. We're human, so we make mistakes.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. But speaking of video games, I've just been recently starting to play some games again. It's been a little busy with work and everything and the podcast, but finally started playing some games again.
That's what we in the business like to call a segue. I see what you did there. I was wondering because you did it out of order. You did it out of order from what it was on the screen. I was like, did you skip that? Am I gonna have to remind you? But you went, you ended with the video game to then segue into video games. I see what you did. Yeah. All right. Okay.
So, what video games are you playing these days? I know you like to play with Nathan and Jason.
Me,
and Nick.
Me, Nathan, Jason, Nick, our other buddy Tony. Typically on Friday nights, we usually all game together. We play a handful of things. Ark, our Ark Survival Evolved, and now Ark Survival Ascended is probably the number one game that we've played together. We've kind of taken a hiatus from it and kind of jumped into some other games, though. So I recently just started playing Red Dead Redemption 2 for the first time.
Oh, nice.
And I think this coming Friday, I believe, and I hope I'll be able to get on. I think we're all actually going to squad up on that for the first time. Because you can do that, apparently, and I didn't even know that. So I'm new to the game. I'm still really early in. But it's fucking awesome. It's Rockstar, right?
Yeah,
so
they say it's like Grand Theft Auto.
It's
in
like
the
a
West.
fucking it's like an old Western GTA kind of. It's not quite as it's not quite the same idea, but it's very similar, and you can definitely tell, right?
Gotcha.
But it's fucking awesome, dude. It's such a fun game. I had to tie this dude up. I literally fucking lassoed him. I had to chase him down on a horse. I lassoed him off his horse. I hogtied him. I threw him on the back of my horse, made him take me to this little honey hole where he had some money stowed away. And then he gave me his money. So I was like, well, I got this guy tied up on the back of my horse. What am I going to do with him? I mean, obviously, the answer is fucking kill him. So I just pulled my gun out and I shot his head off. Literally off. And it's not in GTA, when you do that, it's just very kind of generic. The head just disappears. And then it's just just a neck.
Yeah.
This was part of his head was still there.
God.
I was like, what the fuck? I took a screenshot of it and I sent it in the group chat to the guys. And I was like, what the fuck, guys? This is fucking crazy. and he was still on the back of my horse. And then I drug his body off and I threw him in the bushes. And so yeah, it's pretty much Western GTA. But but I thought this is fucked up, but I thought the coolest part about that whole thing was the fact that I had blood all over me.
Oh, from the splatter and everything?
From the splatter, from pulling him off. And there was a big ass stain on the back of my horse.
No way.
Yeah. And so I was like, yes, that's a fucked up way to find that out. I get it. But the detail in the game is fantastic. It was amazing. But yeah, that we're talking about potentially getting back into Ghost Recon Wildlands. We had been playing what the fuck is it called? It's called 7 Days. I didn't get as into this. They were really into it. But and it's mainly because you have to this game, it's a zombie survival game.
Oh, okay.
But it's also it's a building game too, and so and it's called 7 Days because it's every 7 days. So every seventh night, it's a horde night, and so it's just fucking hundreds of zombies or whatever fucking just come after you. And so you spend the point of the game is then to spend the next 6 days, 7 days or whatever, then resupplying and rebuilding and stuff, because it's you'll literally run out of ammo during this. Wow. And they're just fucking coming. So that part is pretty cool. It's just it's a grinder of a game. You really have to grind and you really got to fucking, and I just I didn't get as into that one. because and like when I was on it, it was fun. But I just didn't have the fucking time like I used to just fucking sit there and grind for hours. It's like I literally get on Friday nights after I get Lainey down. So I get on about 7:30 and I play until like 9 because I'm fucking tired, you know? So I'm like an hour and a half on a game like that just doesn't get you into it.
Yeah.
Where like Ark, Ghost Recon, Red Dead especially because like I'm just playing through the story, so it's like I can hop on for an hour and a half and play an hour and a half of the story while I'm just talking to the guys. You know, that works. But yeah, what games have you been playing? You just said you got back into
started getting back into it. I've been playing a lot of Madden. Lately, Madden 25, and I love franchise mode and just messing with everything, wasting money on free agents and the draft picks, etc. I'm kind of rebuilding,
trying to fucking dabble in trades and shit. And just, like selling your future to win now type of thing. But then you're still gonna win.
I'm building for my future right now. I'm rebuilding basically the Huskies. I traded for Penix. I got Jalen Polk. I got Roma Dunze.
I was gonna say Dunze. That's the one. I was the
Dylan
Bears
Johnson receiver. and Colt Piz, the tight end. So I got a bunch of ground pieces from the Huskies last year.
You just need the offensive line.
Yeah,
go get the O-line and you're good, man.
Exactly.
Can you trade for coaches and shit too? Go get Ryan Grubb.
I mean, he should. I mean, they actually don't put offensive coordinator like actual. They're just generic ones, I think. Okay. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with that. I really want to get the new Call of Duty just because I get it
Black Ops 6.
Yeah, I think it's Black Ops 6 and. I just enjoy doing the online mode for that. And
I just watched the fucking trailer for the zombies for that one. And I played like the original Call of Duty Zombies, but I like never really played any more of it. But the trailer for this, like there's this fucking like electricity gun that just dissolves them.
Oh, wow.
I was like, what the fuck? And I mean, it was like Storm, like from the X-Men, like how she'll like launch the lightning and it'll hit like 4 people.
Yeah.
That was what like the gun would do that. He'd like shoot it and it was just like 4 of them. And it would just and like melt, dissolve them or whatever. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
And then, of course, the 2K, WW2K games. Haven't got too into the newest one, but...
Is that also 25? Or
I think that's 24.
That's still 24? That's all Cody on the cover, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that one too.
And so, dinking and dunking with that, but just started getting playing, and so I thought I was like, I hear you talking about playing games with your brothers, and so thought it would be a fun little segment to talk about.
You might have to... Xbox?
I got both, but I've been mainly playing on the PS5 right now.
Okay.
So.
I was going to say, if you hop on Xbox, you can squad up with us on a couple games. That'd be kind of fun. Get fucking all of us into a game. That'd be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I know Nathan's been asking me to, so I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, dude, for sure. Fuck yeah. Dude. All right. That brings us to belts. Timmy, my dog, what do you want to talk about?
It's been quite the week this week.
It's been a week.
I got some things to talk about. I'll tell you what I want to talk about.
I've got a handfuls. I mean,
we can only do so much with 5 things, but I want to talk about it.
It's true.
All right. So I'm going to start this off with Gunther. Gunther and Priest open up Monday Night Raw, and
I too have that on here.
Priest really put Gunther in his place in this, and
I literally wrote Priest intro is fucking awesome.
I would say this is probably Damian Priest's strongest promo ever. It was fucking great. And I noted this down. It felt very 8 Mile-ish. It was the final rap. He was basically like going, I know what you're going to say about me. I am white. Yeah. I am a bum. I live in a trailer with my mom.
Yeah. That is so true.
That is basically what he said.
But it came across so well.
No, 100%.
Like it did. Like it was just so good. And I I've like over the last, like, since we started doing this, like, because like first 2 episodes I was like, fucking Damian Priest, and then it was like quickly I was just like, I fucking like Damian Priest, and now like he had me glued to the screen while he was on it.
Yeah.
Like every time he was on it throughout that episode, like I was just like, fuck, dude, because it's fucking awesome. Yeah. I love it. I love everything about it that's going on right now. It's fucking great.
The only thing I didn't like about it, and this is just me being petty, but I didn't like Gunther kind of just backing down and being afraid, but the way he owned him in that promo, it made sense.
Yeah.
It made sense, but my heart didn't like it, though.
But it's also, you look at it from the angle of how many times that same type of situation has happened since Gunther has either been IC or on top, and that's kind of how it's gone. Like,
yeah.
Ludwig comes out, gets involved, does something, catches the other person by surprise, and then Gunther attacks. Mm-hmm. And Priest fucking just like shut it the fuck down real quick, because it was like, I know your fucking game. You're not, like, it ain't working now.
Yeah.
And Gunther was like, oh shit, like he was fucking ready for that, you know? So I don't know if it was more of he was like back down, like he was afraid, or if it was Priest caught him off guard.
Yeah.
And that's the first time we've seen Gunther really kind of like on his heels, like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know? So
couple more things just off of that is just, I kind of like how they are starting to develop some clashing ideas between Ludwig and Gunther, where it's starting to stir up the pot a little bit with them. Kind of saw that when he like shut him off the mic. And then I hope that each time Gunther does lose, we kind of see more of what Priest was talking about in this promo, where he starts kind of doubting himself a little more, because he's only been pinned twice.
Yeah.
Sammy
and Cody. Yeah.
And so that's like, of course you're going to have this big ego, only losing so many times, but...
And he's only been pinned, like traditionally pinned once. Mm-hmm. Because the Cody was like a reversal of the sleeper that got him down, you know, where like Sammy hit him with a huluva kick and pinned him 1, 2, 3 in the center. You know what I mean? Like, it was like he got hit with a move and was down, where Cody's was like a surprise roll up. You know, does that make sense what I'm saying? Yeah.
So I just hope that as he starts losing more, hopefully it's not soon, but as he starts spiraling and having that be like a storyline, is like what is happening to me kind of thing. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be. I have on here noted, I think Balor is in the process of leaving the Judgment Day.
I agree with you on that.
That whole segment, that whole backstage segment, was like him and Dom getting up at each other's faces, everyone having to kind of break it up. We've seen it before where Balor just like walked away from the group and like mid-conversation type thing. Like, you can tell. And then he kind of threw the, I'm doing what Liv told me to do, which is pay attention to the tag title, you know, like that type of thing, where this whole point of kicking Priest and Rhea out was to not have anybody running the show, and now Liv's kind of taken over and is like running the show, and Balor, you can tell, is like, okay, this is just a whole other fucking, it's a merry-go-round type thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited for it. I hope Balor does leave the Judgment Day, because I feel like the whole thing, I've really enjoyed the whole Judgment Day arc and everything, but I do feel like it's kind of bringing Balor down, and I feel like you're on board with that, because I know how much you love Finn Balor, and so it's like, it's been awesome, but at the same time now it's like, okay, you have Priest left and is on like the road to a potential other world title reign. Balor needs to be in that picture.
Absolutely.
He's only been in that picture once, twice maybe.
He's had a few title shots, but not.
But he's only he only won it once, and then he got hurt, and it was stripped from him. Yeah, exactly. So, like, he's been in the title picture a couple times, but he hasn't had a run.
Absolutely.
And he's one where it's like, he needs to have a fucking run.
Absolutely.
So I just noted that down because I was like, it looks like they're planting the seeds for that, and I'm here for that. I want that. I think that's the right move. I think that needs to happen.
Yeah, it's definitely, you can tell Judgment Day is starting to fizzle. Like it's almost on its last legs for sure. I wanted to talk about Braun Breaker and the IC. I know he didn't have a lot to do with Raw, but he had a little segment with Sheamus, and it sounds like he's defending the title. But it's just crazy how great we were talking the IC title up, and I know it's only been a couple weeks since Braun has won it back, but it just feels invisible.
There's been nothing.
It's just like, okay, it's back on the back burner, and we kind of talked about it before the show, but it just feels like Raw doesn't know how to handle this 2-hour thing, and the IC title is taking a back seat because of this.
Yeah, well, putting your IC champion and one of the hottest titles in the company on the back burner for some of the shit that you're not putting on the back burner is not the way to go about it. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, no, I agree totally.
Yeah.
I'm moving over to SmackDown. Shinsuke Nakamura's back.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man.
And in quite the fashion.
I like Anakin Skywalker on there.
That is funny. I liked the look though. I was like, I think that fits him really well to be in just all black. Because before he was wearing a lot of like the kind of colored stuff, and he had like the red hair, but his hair is black. He's just got like the fucking dark red, almost looks like fucking burn scars, really, like on the eyes. And then just the whole black wardrobe. Like he looks like a fucking assassin or something, you know? And yeah, it was perfect. And I don't know how they fucking played that too, because the crowd made like no reaction to him standing in the ring until LA Knight turned around and he hit him.
I was thinking the same thing.
I was like, do they not see him? Is that John Cena? What is going on?
No,
but I liked it. I liked that whole angle.
You know, I think it's great. I think this is good for LA Knight because, I mean, he's been chugging along with the title, and since he's won it and had a few contenders for it, I think Shinsuke is that next step up, a next threat. Definitely feels like a threat to him, and so it makes it exciting because I'm a big fan of Shinsuke, and was super excited to see him back and just switched up his character. I like it.
Yeah, and I think like not only is it good for LA Knight, I think it's really good for Shinsuke Nakamura too, because before when he had left this last time and gone, you know, because he hasn't been on TV in a little while.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
But when he was last on TV, like he was just like losing match after match. It felt like he had like no direction, like there was no, you know, storyline for him or whatever. And so like for him to come back and then immediately just put himself right in the US title picture, I was like, that's good, because that'll be a great fucking match too, LA Knight and Shinsuke. So
yeah, absolutely,
that'll be awesome.
I wanted to bring up the women's tournament. So we had our first match, and they're doing another triple threat tournament like they did with the Intercontinental title. So first we have Bayley beating Candice and B-Fab, and honestly, I was shocked. Like I don't remember the last time I saw B-Fab wrestle, and she did really well. And
I was rooting for her.
Yeah.
I thought it would have been fucking cool to see her win that.
Yeah,
because I thought this would be a good way for them to kind of continue this Candice LeRae Bayley feud, like them costing each other the match and having B-Fab win it. But obviously that's not the way it went.
I was a little bummed seeing that, because I liked your idea from last week where you thought maybe the final two could be
Candice
Bayley.
I know, that
Candice
was the
LeRae.
first thing when I saw I saw Bayley come out, obviously, and then I see Candice LeRae. I was like, well, fuck, there goes my goddamn my prediction for that. I was like, that would have been cool too.
So my follow-up is just kind of going through the remaining matches and just kind of getting your thoughts of who you think will move on to the next round.
Before you even bring that up, one qualm I have with it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Why the fuck is Selena Vega not in this?
Because she's not on SmackDown. She's on Raw with the LWO.
I guess that's fair. I guess that's fair.
I get where you're coming from
I thought for some reason that there was like one or two people that were in that I saw that.
I think it's because the tag champions are going back and forth, and there's been a
it's
lot
definitely
of women
throwing me. Yeah, I think it's
going
throwing
back
me
and
off.
forth between shows. So
I think that's why. Yeah, that's probably what's throwing me off. I thought that not just outside of Bianca and Jade. I thought there was somebody on there that I was like, wait, they're Raw. So then I was like, why is Selena Vega not on it? But is it who's in the Bianca match?
So it's Bianca, Chelsea, and Blair Davenport.
Who's the leader of the fucking Pure Fusion Collective?
Oh, Sonya Deville.
There we go. That's where I fucked up. Blair, I read Blair Davenport's name and I was picturing Sonya Deville. I think that's why it threw me off because I was like, wait, then why the fuck is Selena Vega not in it? Okay, never mind. I stand corrected. I don't even have to fact check myself next week. Look at that. I already did it. Got that one out the way.
All right, so match Bianca, Chelsea, Blair. Who do you got going in that one?
Chelsea.
Okay. I thought Bianca would go on.
I mean, I guess you could look at it that way and have Bianca and Jade both win, and then have it be like Bianca and Jade in the finals for the U.S. Women's.
That's kind of where I'm thinking it goes, but also I could see Bayley winning this tournament just because they want to start off the title with a big person.
Yeah.
Not saying that Bianca and Jade wouldn't be that person.
But they're already the tag champs.
But they are the
too,
tag
so.
champs, so there could be some tomfoolery there.
I don't know. I'm going with Chelsea. I hope it's Chelsea.
I agree with you.
Because like she's just been like everything she has been doing since Money in the Bank really has just been good.
Yeah.
And so I'm like I'm here to push Chelsea and give her some fucking gold.
To be honest, I don't even know why Blair Davenport's in this match
because they ran out of fucking people on SmackDown.
She disappeared off the face of the earth.
Should have put Sonya Deville in it.
She ain't doing much better on Raw, buddy.
You right. You right. Where's Selena Vega at then? God damn it.
Okay. On the other side of the brackets, we got Jade, Meechin, Piper.
I hope it's Meechin.
Me too.
Like I really want it to be Meechin.
I agree. I do want Meechin to go on in that. And then lastly, Naomi, Tiffy, Elektra Lopez.
I mean Tiffany Stratton. I hope it's not going to be because she's Money in the Bank, so they're not going to put the U.S. title on her with the Money in the Bank and have her end up winning both. I wouldn't think, but that would be kind of cool if she did have both because they look very similar too. So she'd, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It would be cool, and I would be here for it. And what the trend that typically happens with a Money in the Bank holder is they start just losing a lot, and then that's when they cash in. So maybe she does win this title, and then she loses it one night, but then cashes in for the women. So maybe something like that. All right, but that's what I got. I think ultimately.
Candice LeRae costs her in this.
Ooh, yeah, because there's kind of
there's a little tiffy tension going on there.
Yeah,
that's possible. It's possible.
Okay.
Who was the other people in that one?
Naomi and Elektra Lopez.
Naomi. Yeah, I hope it's Tiffany Stratton. I don't want to say either of the other. I mean, if I had to pick between the other two, it'd be Naomi.
Yeah.
Because Elektra Lopez is from Del Fantasma.
Yeah.
Right.
She was good in NXT. She hasn't been given any opportunity to wrestle on SmackDown.
But that would for me, that would be like the same as the chick from Final Testament. Like. Because I've seen equal amounts of actual wrestling out of both of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where I'm sure if she was good in NXT, sweet. That then let her fucking maybe this will be her opportunity to actually fucking show that.
Yeah.
Because she, like you said, she really hasn't shown anything since she's been on the main roster that she can actually has talent in the ring.
Yeah.
She's just been the fucking
there
side piece of Santos Escobar.
Yep. All right. I brought up Street Profits, Motor City Machine Guns, and DIY Drama. I was bummed that the match didn't finish at first, but then I kind of dig what they did with this. First of all, Street Profits came out with a lot of emotion, and I know there's been rumors that Montez is very frustrated with how the Street Profits are being used right now and everything, and it kind of felt like it was carrying over into this match. It just felt like there was a lot of emotions into the match. You could see it in the action, which I was here for. The Motor City Machine Guns are just so good in the ring.
They're fucking amazing.
It was a great matchup, great. But then we also got Ciampa very frustrated that, he's not in the title shot and going heel, and it almost feels like DIY is trying to split up, but I don't think it's going to. I think Johnny is going to see eye to eye with Ciampa on this and be a heel tag team. But I haven't felt this much drama around the tag title since KO Sammy Bloodline at WrestleMania 2 years ago. It's felt very bland, and we've been talking about the tag division throughout that. So this felt fresh. It feels like there's emotions, an actual storyline going on for the tag titles for once, and I'm here for it.
I'll be really disappointed if they do break up DIY.
Oh yeah,
because what we've been talking about is what's the fuck's been going on with the tag division, and now they're starting to ramp up the tag division, and now you're we got New Day getting ready to fucking split up. We already had Awesome Truth split up, and now we're looking at the potential at least.
And A-Town Down Under too is been
and A-Town. There's been that's been a fucking 6 month tease of them breaking up, and then we have fucking A-Town or fucking DIY now. So I'm I hope they don't, and I hope what you're thinking will happen does happen. I hope that they do end up, whether they stay heel or they whatever.
Yeah.
Just stay together, because yes, there could be, but where everything's at right now, I don't foresee them succeeding or going farther in singles than they would in the tag. They could really push and make cool shit. Those 3 teams on SmackDown could be the fucking New Day fucking triple threat TLC.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Those 3 fucking teams going against each other could make fucking history with some matches, and it would be fucking sick.
Yeah.
So it's we need to keep all that shit together and keep that going.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right. So Bloodline. Let's talk about the Bloodline. Now let's talk about Bronson Reed and what you got going.
Bronson Reed obviously comes out, attacks Roman in the middle of the whole brawl that was going on. And, they just fucking clean house. So, and then they're all walking up the ramp together. So, it's officially unofficial, I guess, or unofficially official, maybe is the better way to put that, that Bronson Reed is the 5th member of the new Bloodline at War Games. Mm-hmm. I don't hate that, because of how just destructive and everything Reed is. So you mix him with Jacob Fatu, the rest of them, okay, it's very formidable. I do feel to call this, and been calling this, a Bloodline Civil War, to bring someone that has nothing to do with the Bloodline into it, is kind of fucking stupid, especially with the amount of other actual Bloodline members or new Bloodline members that they do have at their disposal to be able to use. With Hikuleo being under contract with WWE.
Yeah.
What? It's literally the Tongan's brother. You couldn't have just done that. You couldn't have just brought him in. He's a big motherfucker. You couldn't have just brought him in. That would have made way more sense. And the number one issue I have with this is, my biggest worry is that they're gonna fucking drag Seth Rollins into this.
Oh yeah.
And I absolutely do not want that. I want nothing to do with Seth Rollins in this. We got Seth Rollins fucking randomly plugged into CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. We did not want that. We did not like it. It didn't do anything for the story. And I don't feel like bringing him into this is going to be beneficial in any way, shape, or form. And so I was actually super irritated watching that. And I was just like, motherfucker, because all that means to me now is... And then we had the whole fucking segment on Raw where Sammy's asking Seth, and then Solo's asking Seth, and Seth's like, I will never team with Roman again in my life. And now it's going to turn around this coming Monday, and I fucking would be willing to bet it's going to turn around, and all of a sudden they're all going to attack Seth Rollins, and now Seth Rollins not going to have any choice but to join the bloodline, and it's going to be fucking stupid, and I'm going to be so annoyed the entire time we're sitting at fucking War Games watching this, because this is not in any way, shape, or form where this should have gone.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
It's tarnishing the entire build to this that they've been fucking building for months now. Yeah. And now, because you couldn't just fucking bring in any of the other Samoan family members into the fucking equation.
My question is, why couldn't you just leave it 4 versus 4?
Yeah, that just too. Like, just leave it that 4 versus 4. Every fucking War Games WWE had done since they brought War Games back in NXT up until the last 2 years were 4-on-4 pretty much. Mm-hmm. Like, I think there was one women's one outside of it, but all of the dudes ones were 4-on-4 up until the last 2 years.
So I agree with you. I'm excited for Bronson Reed just because I do like him, and he kind of does fit that.
He does.
He fits with 100% the new bloodline.
That heel, that big bad.
But no, I totally agree with you. I'm very upset that they're bringing in anyone random.
If they were going to do this,
it's random people. Like, they're not part of the storyline. You're dragging them in, and it just to me doesn't make sense.
And you know what? I wouldn't be as mad about it if they wouldn't have been fucking like calling this Bloodline Civil War the whole time.
Oh yeah.
If it was just another Survivor Series match, then like another War Games match, okay, cool.
Yeah.
You know, because they're always random. Not necessarily random, because there's always like you said last week. There's always like the individual feuds going on. It's like, yeah, that makes sense, but not when you're calling it a Bloodline Civil War and this whole fucking the number one fucking storyline in the WWE for the last 5 to 6 years now is the Bloodline, and this is what it's been leading to this whole fucking time. And now we're going to end up with... We already have Sammy in it, which makes sense with the situation.
Sort of. I'm still on the fence about it.
Yeah, because he's not in the Bloodline. And he's the honorary Uso. So I do get that, because he was a big part of the Bloodline story for years. I get that. So like that to me, I'm okay with it. It makes sense to me. Bronson Reed makes 0 sense. And if what I don't want to happen does happen, which I'm sure is going to fucking happen now, is they're going to fucking drag Seth Rollins into it.
Well, hold on.
I'm kind of tired of seeing Seth Rollins in War Games.
I know.
He's been in every fucking one.
I agree with you. I'll agree with you. Now I don't even know where I want to go with this. But
it's bullshit.
Okay, Sammy, I don't get why he's in it, because he was never attacked by Bloodline, like, to bring him in, other than Jay just talking to him and everything. You know, like, there's no reason for him to join. He. You
mean like he was never attacked by the new Bloodline?
Yeah, the new Bloodline. What's to bring him in? Just Jay? That's it? Other than his happy-go-lucky feelings of reminiscing on the Bloodline times?
Yeah, I guess like I get what you're saying with like the current landscape of what's going on,
and then
I get that
he didn't get an apology from Roman, like, or didn't get an apology to Jay either that night, but still joined. And then it's going to be so hypocritical of Seth to join because of what he said on Monday Night Raw. He was like, "We worked so hard to bring down the tyrant Roman." Yet here we all are.
Now you want me to team with you to help him get back to the top? Yeah.
And if you think about storyline wise, why is anyone helping Roman other than Jimmy in all things, right? You know, it doesn't make sense. But I was excited for the OG Bloodline versus, and I still am, but I'm a little disappointed with them adding the 5th member.
To play devil's advocate to that, I think it's more of Sammy and Jay both already know that Roman is not unstoppable now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like, I think they both know that he can be contained because obviously he was.
Yeah.
They don't want Solo and the new bloodline to run rampant for years as they did.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of like where they're spinning that narrative to like kind of help make it make sense. But yeah, no.
So I guess my other way I wanted to spin this, and hopefully it can lead to something cool, is let's talk about the end of SmackDown. Roman tried to call the Wiseman.
he
To
did.
get some advice, but his phone was disconnected, and I think what that was either A, Paul Heyman's mad at Roman and changed his number because Roman abandoned everyone after WrestleMania, just disappeared off the face of the earth and was nowhere around while he's getting tormented by the new bloodline. Or B,
not tormented, Tim. Murdered.
Yeah, but
Straight murdered.
The other
that was still the most aggressive and just brutal beatdown of somebody that we have seen on WWE TV in a long fucking time.
Yeah.
And that's counting the Drew McIntyre and CM Punk feud, because that you expect.
Yeah.
You don't expect to see out of shape 60-year-old Paul Heyman getting fucking triple power bomb through an announce table.
Yeah.
I digress.
But I think part of it was part of storyline, maybe, because before he got beat down, Paul Heyman's phone got smashed during the whole attack on him. So it's just
That's true too.
So it's kind of playing off of that, maybe. But what I think could be cool is Seth Rollins does join as the fifth member. Bronson Reed does his typical thing before War Games attacks him, takes him out of the match, and the Wiseman introduces a fifth member, a surprise fifth member. I don't know who that'd be, but we get a returning Paul Heyman. I'm here to save the day and introduce this new member to the team.
One way they could do that could be, and again, it wouldn't totally make sense with but at this point, we've already kind of established there's nobody that makes sense to join the original bloodline.
No.
Really, because there's literally nobody that could, because there has never been anybody else in the original bloodline outside of those four individuals. Mm-hmm. So, that all being said already, to build to the dream match that everybody has always wanted, The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
And then at War Games, The Rock betrays Roman to make him lose the War Games match.
What if that happens? That would be badass.
Like, I would be down for what you just posed, and then Paul Heyman comes out at War Games and introduces The Rock. And then what if Heyman also turned on Roman?
I could see it.
Because, like, he's the one that brings The Rock in with knowing that we just turned anger into potential coming. So,
I could see it because, he followed Roman. Roman abandons him. He gets thrashed around by the new bloodline.
Nobody comes to save him.
Nope. And then
Roman just sat back and watched it happen.
And then we've said from the beginning, we think Rock might be the puppet master behind everything. Yeah. And why not join forces with that?
Yeah.
So, anywho.
Well, banger of the week, Tim.
All right, I got two.
You bastard.
I really thought the Nia Jackson Naomi match crushed it on SmackDown. It exceeded my expectations. I didn't even want to see the match. I watched the match. I thoroughly enjoyed it. There was a bunch of moments where I thought Naomi was actually going to win this match.
Yeah, there were. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was an incredible match. So giving them their flowers because that was a great match to end SmackDown. But then my other part is just that closing segment of SmackDown also with Roman calling the Wiseman only to get a disconnected phone. It was just cinematic, man. It was an epic way to end the show. I like cliffhangers on the wrestling shows, and that was like the ultimate one.
Yeah. For me, Nia Jax and Naomi were like my runner-up for banger of the week. primarily because of that fucking mid-air reversal off the top rope fucking move. Like,
Nia was taking bumps in that match.
Yeah. And then, like, her falling over the top rope all the way down to the ground and then taking the fucking crossbody like a champ. Like, that, I was like, oh my God. That whole fucking, all of it. Yeah. Like, that might have been some of the best that we have seen both of them be in the ring since they've both been back. Like, it was really good. But my actual banger of the week is the and it's for one specific reason, but it's the Seth Rollins Bronson Reed brawl part 9 now that took place on Raw this week. But it's because of the Bronson Reed fucking through the middle rope dive to the outside.
Yeah.
That motherfucker shouldn't be doing that shit. Like, I'm sorry. He shouldn't be doing that shit. But the fact that he does is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, the closest thing that I can fucking think of to that is Taker doing the fucking over the top rope dive to the outside.
He almost killed himself.
Yeah, a couple times.
But yeah.
But like, I don't know why, but for some reason Taker doesn't look unable to do that move.
Yeah.
Bronson Reed does not look like he should be fucking doing. He is built like a bowling ball. Mm-hmm. He looks like a fucking just a muscular hot pocket with legs. Mm-hmm. He's just fucking. He doesn't. I wasn't meant to be mean, by the way. I don't know. I didn't realize now that I said that. I was like, fuck, that kind of sounded mean. I didn't mean that to be mean. And it's like, he's just like, I'm like, picture like a hot pocket. It's just kind of like short and stocky. Yeah. Right? That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That was, I apologize, Bronson Reed. I was not supposed to be mean at all. But yeah, like, he doesn't look like he should be doing that, but he fucking does. And like, it's like every week with him too. Like, he does some shit that I'm just like, what the fuck? He's super impressive. So like, that's part of where I'm like, I'm actually good with him being in this match because he's just gonna up it. He's gonna elevate everything. And yeah.
Yeah. No, I like it. I am Team Bronson Reed all the way through and through. He's just been more and more impressive each week. He is built up as this big bad monster, and it's showing.
Yeah.
It's showing.
All right. Timmy, this brings us back to the Triple B Game Show.
Okay.
We're back. Another week, another game. It's another new one. I didn't realize we've only repeated one game before, I think, and it's the Blockbusters Trail.
Yeah.
So we've done a pretty good job of continuing to come up with different games. I've seen this one through 2 different podcasts that I follow on TikTok. Mm-hmm. Like, they'll like post clips, and I've always enjoyed it because it's just like it seems fun. So I was like, I want to do this with Tim. So I'm calling this one today just a wrestling word match game.
Okay.
So the way it'll work is, like, on the count of 3, I'll count it down each time. I'll be 3, 2, 1, and then we're both just going to say a word that is wrestling related.
Okay.
The goal is for us to say the same word eventually, but we're going to say what we say, and then we're going to, like, kind of take a moment to be like, all right, so, like, you said this, I said this, and then we're going to take those 2 words and we're going to try to then narrow it down from those 2 words to then try to get to us saying the same thing. Then we're going to do it again, and then we'll be like, all right, I like what you said and what I said. So it's like we're trying to, like, find similarities between the 2 to then say the same thing. Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
So it'd be like, if not wrestling themed, if it were just like 3, 2, 1, and it's like pizza, pineapple. And it's like, okay, pizza, pineapple pizza. All right, come on, 3, 2, 1, Canadian bacon. Yeah, right. So I'd be like, oh yeah, we got it. Does that make sense? So it's we're saying something random to start, but then we're thinking about what we both said combined to try to find a common thing.
Okay.
And then each time we do it, then we take those 2 words. And those are the 2, like, those are the only 2 then that we're, like, trying to find the commonality to, and then we go off those 2. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay. Any questions?
Nope.
Okay. So, wrestling theme. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Survivor
ECW.
Series.
Okay. Okay, so Survivor Series and ECW. Are you ready? You good? You got something?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have to think of something common between those two.
So we're just trying to get ourselves to say the same thing on 3.
Okay.
And so it's like we use what you said and what I said to then now we're trying to like narrow our thought process down together.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
So ECW Survivor Series, we're trying to find something common within that
Okay.
to then move on.
Okay.
All right, you good?
Yep.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. War
Hardcore.
games.
Damn it! I was gonna say that.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
All right.
I'm ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Invasion. Fuck. Okay. No, wait. Hold on. Invasion. Bloodline. Invasion. Bloodline. Okay. All right. Come on, Tim. Come on. Invasion and Bloodline. Okay. 3, 2, 1. The
Bronson
Rock.
Reed.
Fuck.
Okay. I got one.
I don't know.
You should.
Bronson Reed.
Yeah. We just talked about it. Go. Countdown. We're on the same page.
Oh, wait, no, I think we're good. All right, 3, 2, 1. Paul
Samoan.
Heyman. Fuck! Samoan. God damn it. No, we're good. Paul Heyman, Samoan.
Okay.
Paul Heyman, Samoan.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Roman
Roman.
Reigns. Let's go. All right.
I like it.
That's a good
like
one.
it.
That's fun.
That was fun.
All right.
I was totally going to say War Games on the second one. I was like, that's too obvious.
No, that's the point.
Well, I guess.
That's the point of the game, Tim. We want to do it as quickly as possible. All right. So, I mean, fuck, that took us, was that 4?
4 or 5, yeah.
4 or 5? All right. That's not bad. Not bad for our first time.
Yeah.
Sweet. And the cool thing is we could do that
For
with
either or.
any of the stuff that we cover. So,
Yep.
yeah.
All
All
right.
right. Belts question of the week, Timmy. This was all you.
All right. This is a 2-parter. First question is, who is a current wrestler that could benefit from a character revamp or maybe new music to help them get to that next level? And then the follow-up question is, who is a wrestler that has the character, or even a past wrestler that had the character, but just didn't get to the next level for whatever reason. So,
Okay.
First part, what do you got?
I'm going Austin Theory.
I was thinking about him a lot. And
Yeah.
I didn't end up picking him, but I did. I was like, I think he could.
And I don't necessarily think it's the music. I guess I think his own theme is fine. But I think it's just like and I know this is very contradicting to what we were just talking about, but I think there does need to be, he should be a singles wrestler in my mind. Grayson Waller, tag team. Sure, for sure. Austin Theory, I think, needs to be a singles dude. And I think he'd need a character revamp of some form to get him to that next spot for that.
Any ideas of what you would like to see from him?
I don't feel like we ever really saw. We've seen a more heel side to him with the tag team. I don't know that we really saw a legit good heel turn or heel run with him when he was going for single stuff. So I would like to kind of see him in some form of like legit, believable heel in a singles run.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I have 2 for this one because I'm a bastard that way. Sorry.
Always.
First one is Shayna Baszler. I don't think her being in this Pure Fusion
UFC.
collective group is doing her any favors. When she was in NXT, the Queen of Spades, awesome character and was dominant. So my revamp is just bringing her back to the Queen of Spades era of her and just being super dominant as a single wrestler because she's only had a couple stints in that, and she started off super dominant and then just fizzled out really quickly.
Yeah.
So that would be that, and then Otis is the other one.
Oh yeah.
I want to see him singles because I remember you bringing up I don't know how many episodes it was,
Yeah.
but
It was a little
you
while ago now.
said you could see him being a champion. He
Yeah,
was
in a
like
world
one of your
title
picks.
picture. Yeah.
That you would like to see in that. So I thought for him, kind of build off of like what Brock Lesnar was doing with like the hick Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Kind of that same thing because he's a big dude and I think he could pull it off. So that would be
Yeah.
my character revamp for him.
I think a big change that would be helpful to him would be to get out of
the Not So Alpha Academy.
that
is not really
and drop the goofy.
yeah. Have a little bit, but not.
Yeah.
Like
He's
a full-on comedic person right now.
Yeah, exactly. He's like a caricature of himself.
Yeah.
Right now, where have a little bit is fine.
Yeah.
Especially if you're doing like the hillbilly redneck type persona, you're gonna have a little, and that's fine. But because a little can go a long way with it.
Yeah.
But if you get to where you're at right now, in the words of Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder, never go full. Anyway, so what's the next question?
Who is a wrestler that had or has the character but hasn't seemed to make it to that next level?
Okay, I'm pulling one from yesteryear, and I'm going Mr. Kennedy.
That's a great one.
Yeah, I was like, what? You started laughing at me. I didn't know how to feel about it.
That's because he's on my list.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Is he? Yeah. Yeah, I'm going Mr. Kennedy. He had the character. He had the whole fucking thing. He won Money in the Bank.
Got injured.
He got injured, and then they just like kind of wrote him off and made him drop it to Edge, and which then led to Edge's fucking whole character pretty much that he ended up with. Yeah, I feel like that was just really a missed shot all around because he was fucking awesome. The fucking bring the mic down, like that whole persona was, there's nothing like that ever before, and there has been nothing like that since. Mm-hmm. It was a one-of-a-kind type of thing. And how he hasn't made his way back to the WWE at some point is also shocking to me.
Yeah.
Because so many people that are completely unworthy of making it back have made it back. And he has been either in TNA or on the indie scene pretty much since he left. So
yeah. No, I had him on the list too because he was one of my favorites during that time.
Yeah.
And he was getting huge push at first, and he was going up against The Undertaker and was supposed to be Vince McMahon's like illegitimate child.
Yeah. He was the chosen one.
And then I read that he lost the Money in the Bank because he thought he tore his tricep, and they thought it was a lot worse than it was, and then ended up being he was only out for like a couple weeks.
Yeah,
and
it was all overblown. Yeah,
and so, but yeah, no, I thought he could have been taken to the next level. The other one I thought of was Dolph Ziggler. He won the title once, but like
it was a really short reign. It was a short reign.
Yeah. And the guy put on banger after banger after banger. And
he was so good in the fucking ring, dude.
He was. And
he still is.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, because he's in TNA now.
Yeah, and so I just don't think he ever got that legitimate push that he deserved. And I thought a fitting time for it would have been after his big feud with The Miz for the IC title. I thought he was ready for the next step after that. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, fuck, man. Good questions. That brings us to Blockbusters.
Well, hey, We're here in Blockbusters, got a full agenda, and once again, we are talking about Marvel.
Naturally, that's practically what got us started on the podcast in the first place.
Absolutely. You know,
It's our love of talking about movies.
we got D23 in Brazil, and a bunch of things came from it. So we had...
Including me.
We had new Captain America, a Brave New World trailer, and then also another trailer for Thunderbolts. And I thought those trailers were pretty awesome.
They were fucking dope.
They were
dope.
both really good.
Absolutely.
Thunderbolts didn't really introduce too much other than the long opening scene to the trailer, I thought, but it was funny as hell. And
Yeah, it was great.
super excited for that one. The Brave New World Captain America movie. We got to see a lot more of the Red Hulk in that, and dude, it looks like it's gonna be an epic movie. Definitely Winter Soldier vibes, which I thoroughly enjoyed that movie.
I am curious because I continue to read things. They just dropped the director, Julius Ona, I think, is the director of Brave New World. But I've been reading things that he has been like released as the director, and they're doing reshoots, but that he's still going to be there to promote the movie. But I don't know. It's I've been reading a lot of weird stuff about it. It's it kind of worries me because I also read that there was test screenings that the reactions to it were not great, but it's also one site that I read that from.
Yeah.
So, but that they're doing the reshoots to fix some of those problems or something. So I'm I don't know. The trailer looks fucking dope.
Yeah.
Straight up. But that was just a little tidbit of extra information that I kind of read about. And I was that's interesting. You don't typically hear about a director being canned 5 months before the movie comes out.
But still promote it later on. That is
It's weird. I don't know. And so that could all be rumor stuff that I read that I might be fact checking next week. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah. Anyways, continue.
Blade. We kind of got a quick update on it. Not a lot, but Blade will still reach the MCU. Feige said we're committed to Blade. We love the character. We love Mahershala's version of him, and rest assured, whenever we change direction with a project or are still trying to figure out how it fits into our schedule, we will let the public know. You're up to date on what's going on, but I can tell you the character will be coming to the MCU, which I could see how Blade doesn't really fit into what's going on now, and I can see why it's kind of getting pushed. I know they did tease him in the Eternals. Right?
Yep.
Eternals.
Yep. It was at the end of the Eternals.
But, I like that they're just waiting to make it right, make it make sense.
Yeah, and I think to get there, you got to do a continuance of Moon Knight. Mm-hmm. You got to keep building these ground level characters that have those kind of more horror type themes to them. So even Daredevil will be, I think, a good kind of ground base for Blade to. I honestly think they should make Blade a Disney Plus series. Just personally, because it would kind of just fit in with Moon Knight and Daredevil and what we're going to end up getting with the Punisher out of Daredevil. And yeah, so I think that's. I think pushing it back makes sense because, like you said, there's not really a spot for it right now.
Yeah.
That story doesn't necessarily make sense because we've seen nothing about vampires in the MCU so far. So it'd be just to all of a sudden drop that in would be what? This kind of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But if you can establish some of these other characters that have tie-ins and connections, and then that's how you connect it, and then you bring it in, then it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I
mean, I could see the little, kind of what you brought up, Jen being related to Ghost Rider being part of the Midnight Suns, and Blade being part of that group. So it's starting to have things, but where they're going is basically we're very close to the next Avengers movie, which you're going to be rushing that at that point.
I feel like they bit off more than they could chew originally at, what was it, Comic-Con 19, when they announced Blade and Ollie's version of him, because of that same type of thing where it was like, he's it's Blade. Like, it's such a well-known character, obviously portrayed brilliantly by Wesley Snipes in 3 movies, 4 now. Yeah. But just like fantastically, and like the fan base loves that character. So I feel like they were like chomping at the bit to get it because they acquired the rights to it and everything. And so they're like, oh yeah, we got to do this. And then they like realized, fuck, we announced this. We've had a lot of issues with the story because we don't know where the fuck the story fits, because it doesn't fit right now. But now, like we just said, I feel like we're getting those building blocks and that kind of foundation to be able to bring them in and do it, well and do it right and everything.
Yeah.
So
next up, we got Wanda, Scarlet Witch. Feige says since then, Agatha all along, there have been a lot of questions about Wanda on fans' minds. So all I can say is that we're excited to find out when and how the Scarlet Witch might return, which...
sounds like she's coming back.
Sounds like she is coming back.
I mean, yeah, with
she
how
said she's
Agatha
open to coming back. So
yeah, she wants to. Yeah, with how Agatha all along ended, I don't know how you couldn't have her come back at some point. Like, yeah.
I was excited for that. Next up, we got Miles Morales. Feige says Miles will appear in the third Spider-Verse, which is a Sony movie, which is currently in production. I hope that shortly after that, he can enter the MCU in live action. So, more Spider-Man in the MCU, I'm here for.
Yeah, and I wonder if that has anything to do with that agreement piece that I had brought up.
Yeah, that's immediately
because like all that had really mentioned was talking about like the villains because but that's still the Sony Spider-Verse, right? Yeah. And so I wonder if that has anything to do with like once that movie's over and like that wraps up that arc of what they're using, then the MCU now has access to that character. Yeah. So I'm wondering if that's kind of why he was able to go about that.
Yeah, that's immediately what I thought of too.
I think it'll be great because the Spider-Verse, the third Spider-Verse, which I forget what they're titling it, it was Into, Across, and I forget what this one's going to be, but maybe they haven't even announced it yet. I thought they did, but maybe they haven't.
I think they did. Yeah, I can't think of it though.
But regardless, we're still a couple of years out from that happening. By the time that will have happened, we will have seen Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland, I'm assuming. Or, probably around the same time, maybe, at the earliest for the Spider-Verse film. If not, have already seen the fourth Spider-Man and getting ready for the fifth, because this was what we've read and have said already on the show, is that this next Spider-Man 4 is supposed to be the start of a new Spider-Man trilogy with Tom Holland. I'm wondering if they'll be able to set that up then to have in like the sixth Tom Holland Spider-Man be kind of a passing of the torch, because eventually Tom Holland's going to have to fucking step down. Yeah. He's not going to be able to play Spider-Man forever, unfortunately, because he's fucking fantastic.
He's going to play until he's 90, just like
Tobey Maguire.
Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine.
But yeah, I'm wondering if that could be kind of how they then introduce Miles Morales. Like, he is a character in one of those last two Tom Holland Spider-Man films, and then it's kind of a passing of the torch. And now then we get a young Miles Morales taking over to then lead at least one, if not two, trilogies of his own.
I like it.
It would be smart. It'd be a really good way for them to continue the live action MCU Spider-Man. So
Truth. Next up, we got X-Men. Feige says they will be an important part of the future following Secret Wars. When we were preparing for Avengers Endgame years ago, it was a question of getting to the grand finale of our narrative, and then we had to start all over again after that. This time on the road to Secret Wars, we already know very well what the story is going to be until then and afterwards. The X-Men are an important part of the future. So kind of like we were just talking about earlier about making sure Blade is done right. I think that was a very important statement to make, is just like they have the groundwork
They have a
to
plan.
exactly what they
Yeah.
want to do now, and then afterwards as well. So
It feels like now we're at the point where we were in like 2009, 2010. Mm-hmm. Where like they knew where they were going with the Thanos arc.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and like, that's not to say that they knew that they were going to have every single one of these individual movies and whatnot all happen, but they knew the general idea of what they wanted to accomplish.
Yeah.
And that is now where where it feels like we're at again, which is super exciting.
Yeah.
Because after Thanos, through these next two phases, phase 4 and now phase 5, really hasn't felt like we had. I've enjoyed it. A lot of people haven't. I know you have,
I've been enjoying it.
but it hasn't, and I think we could both agree with that. It hasn't felt like we've had that direction.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like we've kind of been like, oh, we're going, oh, now we're over here, now we're here, now it's up and down, now it's over here, and that's back over this direction, and it's like, oh, I
should buy a boat.
Yeah, woo, something shiny. And yeah, so it feels that statement just in and of itself feels good, because
Yeah.
it's like, all right, we know.
They got a roadmap, and they're gonna follow it.
Yeah,
so.
we know what we know. In Feige, we trust,
Yep.
right? And we're back to truly believing that.
Yeah,
So.
exactly.
All right. Well, this kind of brings us to a little bit of extra Marvel news and or rumors or updates about some stuff. First and foremost, Denzel Washington has been confirmed to have a role. We don't know what the role is yet, but he confirmed it in an interview. He said that Coogler is he said he actually laid out like the rest of his career in this interview.
I was gonna say, didn't
Yeah,
he
like-
just announce that he's on the road to retirement right
Yeah,
now?
no, like he said like he's doing he's playing I think it is his character Hannibal in the Gladiators movie, I think is the character he's playing. And then he's doing this other thing, and then he said, I think this other thing, and then he said, and then Ryan Coogler is writing a role for me in the next Black Panther movie. Like, it was just very nonchalant. And then he said he's doing like one more thing, and then he goes, and then I'm gonna retire. And like that was it. I was just like, what the fuck? So much information. I'm buffering. Like, I was like, what the fuck, Denzel? But I mean, it makes sense, dude. He's like 60 something now.
Yeah.
I think he's pushing 70 maybe. Like, he's older than you think he is. That's the thing with Denzel. His motherfucker looks fantastic. Anyway, so but yeah, so I thought that was cool just to point out that Denzel is apparently going to be in Black Panther 3.
Absolutely.
And the fact that he then also confirmed that Ryan Coogler is back to, it sounds like at least write, if not direct the third one too, because he directed the first two. So, yeah, cool.
That's awesome.
Other thing that I wanted to point out off of one thing we talked about here, because I saw an interview with, is it Brad Winderbaum, I think, is the head of like the TV at Marvel, like the TV shows. I don't know what his actual title is.
Yeah.
But and he talked about having like having Daredevil and then like having the Punisher, and then he was asked, of the Defenders, like the Netflix Defenders, who would you want to like bring back for another continuation of a new series or a new season? And he immediately responded with Jessica Jones.
Oh, yeah.
And Kristen Ritter has previously expressed interest in returning in that role. So there apparently has also been rumors that she potentially has a cameo in Daredevil Born Again.
Sweet.
We will have to see if that comes to fruition or not, but I would fucking love that, because she was one of she was my favorite
I was gonna say I remember
of all of the Defenders. Like, and that is including Daredevil.
Yeah, I remember
Like-
you talking up the show because I had watched any of it at the point, and you're
Yeah.
like, dude, you can't watch it yet, but Jessica Jones is great. And
Dude.
you talked it up a lot.
Have you, and you've watched it all since then?
No, actually,
You still haven't watched Jessica Jones?
No, not yet. I started this season recently, but
It's so good, and she's fucking she's amazing. Kristen
I've-
Ritter in that is fantastic.
what I've seen so far has been really good.
Yeah. So if that actually does come back at it again, if that actually does, we're gonna have to do like a compilation to put on TikTok of me just yawning in the middle of shows. That would be fucking hilarious. I actually have a couple ideas for that, but anyways, yeah, like that would be fantastic if we get that.
Yeah,
That would be great.
absolutely.
There's been zero word on Luke Cage, Iron Fist, or there was another character that when I was reading this that they said, but I was like, I don't even remember who that was. So, but yeah, that there's been no information about any of them. But apparently there's been rumors that Jessica Jones might show up in Daredevil Born Again.
Sweet.
Remains to be seen, but. That brings us to a couple other MCU rumors that I have just recently discovered. And the first one is they dropped the official synopsis for Fantastic Four. I don't know if you saw that or not.
I did not.
But essentially in it kind of just like goes through like the basic information that we already know, right? Talks about like the Fantastic Four. It's set in the retro futuristic 1960s New York City landscape, like that whole thing. And then it talks about Galactus and how Galactus is bringing Silver Surfer along with, and all of that, like all the information we already know about it. But then like the synopsis ended with the very interesting and intriguing part where it says, but then like all of a sudden things get very personal or something like that.
Oh.
And that was where this rumor mill kind of started. And I read that the personal tie in with that, where it says things get very personal at the end. And because it's talking about between the Fantastic Four and Galactus, is apparently there is a comic book arc, and I forget which comic it is, but it's that there is a comic book arc that they're apparently pulling from for this MCU reboot of the Fantastic Four that sees Franklin Richards, which is Reed and Sue Storm's child, become the new Galactus after Reed Richards turns the original Galactus into a star.
Oh.
And so Franklin Richards becomes the new Galactus to restore balance to the universe. Very Star Wars-esque.
Yeah.
But he does it in the sense of like with the guidance of like I think both Silver Surfers, Shalal Ball, and then the male Silver Surfer, or Shalal Ball, or however you say it. But he does it with the guidance of that he only devours like worlds for certain things. Like for the good of things or whatever. It's not just like Galactus going around fucking eating whole worlds just to fucking eat whole worlds. But what it could mean is that in the actual MCU movie that we're going to get next July, could potentially see then Galactus. I said who can Shanti travel across Arcos. Back with the typos again. Who can apparently travel across realities in the MCU, recognizes that Franklin Richards is a future threat. And so apparently like it could potentially lead to him like saying like telling the Fantastic Four essentially like bring me the kid type of thing. Like he needs to destroy this kid because the kid is a threat to him.
Yeah.
That could potentially be the personal tie-in. That was a rumor I read. I think it would be a very interesting plot point, something we've
would.
definitely never seen before.
For sure.
And what added fuel to that rumor was the fact that for the movie, they're apparently looking to cast, there was like a casting call for a certain age of child.
Oh.
So I think that was kind of where it was kind of pointing to.
Gotcha.
So, the next one that I saw is that the working title for Spider-Man 4 is apparently called Blue Oasis. And if for those of you that don't know anything about like in production or pre-production movies, a working title is not what the actual title of the movie is going to be. It is typically like a code name for a movie that typically has some form of like hint to what it is or what it's going to be about, if that makes sense. So Blue Oasis, the rumor that I've read because of the working title. So the rumor isn't that the working title is Blue Oasis. Let me rephrase what I said. The working title of Spider-Man 4 is Blue Oasis. The rumor stems from that. The rumor is Blue Oasis is apparently a specific color of blue, and that specific color of blue apparently matches, like almost perfectly, the shade of blue from the cover of Spider-Man Blue, which is a comic book.
Oh, okay.
That comic book arc apparently sees kind of the beginning of the Peter Parker and the Gwen Stacy romance.
Okay.
So that could potentially hint at possible plot points for Spider-Man 4.
I love the rumor mill.
I know, dude.
Like,
I do too.
How they can take that code name and immediately tie it to something so quickly.
Literally, when I was reading this, they had like a picture, and it was like, if you looked up Blue Oasis, it was fuck. I did it again. It was like almost perfectly a match to that fucking comic book cover.
Okay.
So it's like, yeah, that seems like a fucking just random crazy thing, but it's also like, then when you look at it, it's like, fuck, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I love the whole rumor mill and all that stuff too, because that exact reason.
Exactly.
It has us talking. It has us doing this. It has us fucking talking about it, which is what it's supposed to do. So
absolutely. All right. That brings us to The Agency. This is a Paramount Plus / Showtime show. It releases at the end of November 11/29/24. The synopsis of this is Marcianus, a covert CIA agent, ordered to abandon his undercover life and return to London Station. When the love he left behind reappears, romance reignites. His career, his real identity, and his mission are pitted against his heart, hurling them both into a deadly game of international intrigue and espionage. This stars Michael Fassbender, Richard Gere, Jeffrey Wright, who is in The Batman, The Watcher, and What If, to kind of tie it into our Marvel universe. And then Catherine Watterson, who's in the Fantastic Beasts movies. And then lastly, Jodie Turner-Smith from Bad Monkey and Acolyte. Just some stuff we've talked about in the past.
have you watched Bad Monkey yet?
I'm not all the way through. I'm like,
Do you know who she is in Bad Monkey? Because I can't picture her.
I want to say she's the voodoo lady that the guy went to talk to.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Okay. Now I'm making that connection with the trailer.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. I picture her.
Yeah. So
Cool.
I thought the show looked really cool. I'm a big fan of Michael Fassbender.
Same.
And then weirdly enough, seeing Richard Gere in it, and it kind of brought me back to the
double,
which was our Toasted or Trash, the first movie you picked for me. And it just, I was like, almost like when I just saw that, I didn't know what it was. I just saw him and just kind of the scenery. It was like, is this a sequel to The Double? And, but it's not. But really big fan of Fassbender and Richard Gere. So excited for this. It looks really good, and
it took me until literally just now reading this to realize what I knew Catherine Waterston from.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I was like, when I watched the trailer, I was like, fuck, I recognize her. Same with Jodie Turner-Smith, if that is who we're thinking it is.
I'm pretty sure it's
both
her.
of them. I was like, fuck, I know them from something, but I didn't look it up. And now that I'm Fantastic Beasts, I'm like, oh, fuck. Yeah, that makes so much sense. That's where I know her from.
Yeah.
And then if that is, I'm assuming that is the same person, Bad Monkey, yeah.
I think just
all right. Because she's the one in the trailer that it was like his ex or something like that, right? Yeah. That's definitely her. Definitely her from Bad Monkey. Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, dude, I'm excited for that. That looks good. And it comes out at the end of this month.
Yeah.
We could potentially be watching that in the hotel room, Tim.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Alrighty, Back in Action is what we got next. This is on Netflix in January on the 17th of this coming year. Synopsis is: years after giving up life as CIA spies to start a family, Emily and Matt find themselves dragged back into the world of espionage when their cover is blown. The movie stars Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz, who is returning from a long hiatus in acting. In 2014 was her last credit.
Yeah.
Which might have.
I think she said she retired from.
Yeah, she
from
did.
acting,
Yeah. She had retired to focus on her family and stuff. Fuck, that probably would have been right around like the time Sex Tape came out with Jason Segel.
Yeah, if I remember right, that was one of the last few things.
Yeah, because she put out a handful of things within that same time frame.
Yeah.
But yeah, so dude, the fucking trailer to this looks awesome.
It looks hilarious.
It does. I'm so excited because they're like when in the trailer she like knocks the chick out at the gas station and the girl's like, "Mom," and she goes, "No, she's okay. She's just taking a nap or whatever." She's okay. I was like, that's fucking awesome. I love these
golds.
Yes,
stars,
absolutely.
Right?
Fucking Jamie Foxx and I'm happy this movie actually ended up coming out, because on the filming of this is when Jamie Foxx had his like medical scare and ended up in the hospital and stuff. And I don't know if it was like he had a stroke or like an aneurysm or something
like that, yeah.
But yeah, he ended up in the hospital for a decent amount of time, and like to the point where like his daughter or whatever had like sent out on social media like send prayers for my dad type of thing, like it wasn't sure if he was going to recover type of thing. So it's awesome to see that he was able to, he's doing commercials again, and he's like obviously was able to finish this movie, and he is the one that brought Cameron Diaz back out. She has gone on record saying that it was like Jamie Foxx is the one who like got her to come back, and now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe she has a couple other things
nice.
in the works as well. So
sweet.
Yeah.
I like seeing her back on the screen. I think
she's awesome.
She is awesome,
Yeah.
and she plays really well in these action comedy movies.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
This is right down her wheelhouse. So very excited. Notice how back to back like CIA espionage.
Yep.
We got a thing going on here.
Yep. Absolutely.
But super excited for that.
Boom.
We got Nutcrackers. This is another holiday movie. We're coming up on the holiday season.
Yes, we
This
are.
is Hulu Disney Plus. Also comes out on the 29th of this month. So a lot of stuff coming out at the end of the month. Synopsis: in the most unlikely of places, four siblings find a loving shelter in an unexpected turn of circumstances. This endearing comedy drama draws inspiration from actual events and deftly crafts a gripping story that unites everyone. This stars Ben Stiller and Linda Cardellini. Dude, the trailer looked hilarious.
It looks so good.
It's not like a raunchy comedy, but it kind of feels like it's in near that wheelhouse, and it's just refreshing to see, because we haven't had that kind of comedy in a long time, and you can tell it's going to be like also a really feel good story too. But the kids are fucking hilarious, and I think Ben Stiller just feeds into that very well.
Absolutely. The point in the trailer where they're like, all right, what are we learning about today for homeschool? And he's like, sex. And then he's like, all right, what do you guys know? All right, what do you guys know? He's like, it's like the birds and the bees, except for the male bee sticks a stinger in the girl bee's butt. That's fucking hilarious. I watched the trailer with Lindsay, and it was funny because she was actually like kind of bummed out because she goes, "Oh, we'll have to go see that in theaters." I was like, "It's only out on fucking
Hulu.
yeah, Hulu and Disney Plus." And then it was the same with the trailer for Dear Santa.
Oh yeah,
that's
yeah,
only Paramount Plus.
Yeah,
and yeah, she was like, "Well, I have to say, fuck." But it was like, all right, well, at least we don't have to pay for them. We're already paying for the services.
Hey, it's exciting
so we'll
to hear
just
her wanting to watch a movie.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, no, I'm really excited for this one. I think it's going to be great, and Ben Stiller, obviously phenomenal.
Yeah,
Played a big part in our comedy upbringings.
Oh yeah,
and then Linda Cardellini is fucking fantastic in like everything she's in that I've ever seen her in. Dating all the way back to Corey Matthews cheating on Topanga with her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, ski slope. Well, anyways, moving on. All right, Blockbusted is our special segment for Blockbusters this week.
Dude, I love this segment.
Huh?
I love this segment.
I do too. I absolutely love it. This week we have Canary Black. Reminder that Blockbusted is we take a look at the previous month. So for this, we looked at October's Rotten Tomatoes streaming only movies, and we find the one that has the lowest combined tomato and popcorn meter ratings. And Canary Black had the lowest combined score, and it had an 18% popcorn meter. No, sorry, tomato meter. And then a 33% popcorn meter because the 18% critic scored, 33% fan score. And yeah, so the synopsis for this is a top CIA operative, Avery Graves, is blackmailed by terrorists into betraying her own country to save her kidnapped husband. Cut off from her team, she turns to her underworld contacts to survive and help locate the coveted intelligence that the kidnappers want. Betrayed at every turn, she must rely on her cutting-edge training and primitive fighting skills in a deadly race to deliver a ransom that could trigger a global crisis. And it stars Alec Baldwin. No, I'm just kidding. Kate Beckinsale.
Like, what movie did you watch?
Stars Kate Beckinsale. Yeah, well, that's where we're at. Canary Black on Prime. Timmy, what'd you think?
Also, another theme following another
CIA. That is true.
Espionage.
Three on here.
This movie was pretty action-packed. It was just a typical action movie, I thought. It was nothing over the top that I thought about. Filming was done cool. I followed along with the plot just fine. There was no flashbacks in this that I can think of.
Nope.
So we ruined our theme on on the Blockbusted section. I don't know why the score is so low on this one. I actually enjoyed this one. I thought it was done pretty well. There was maybe not the best character development. It was kind of really fast paced with some of the characters in the movie, but overall there was a kidnapping. She's after to get her kidnapped husband, and that was pretty much it. So I thought it was pretty good, actually. So what about you?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it was a fairly typical like espionage action movie. There were a handful of things where I kind of struggled with in it. There were way too many scenes of her running.
Oh yeah,
way too many scenes of her that are just filler. Literally just filler scenes of her just running.
Like the Marine with John Cena just running.
Yeah. Except at least... Oh, no, that's actually not true either. John Cena doesn't look that great running either. The other thing I had with this was... Kate Beckinsale was a... Like, Underworld, fucking badass movies. Mm-hmm. The action in this... a lot of the sequences to me felt really fucking slow. And it was just not very believable to me that some of the stuff that was happening was happening. And then the other thing I had was same with like the character development stuff, where it was just like there was none almost at all.
Yeah.
And I knew the twist, if you will, like almost out the gate.
Oh,
like
wow.
almost it was very, very quickly for me from when she like walked into the house and into the kitchen when he was making food.
Really?
And I was like, he's a bad guy. And then when he got kidnapped, I was like, yeah, I'm right. I'm fucking right about this. And it's like, I'd had the feeling, I kind of knew it, which like, that doesn't ruin anything for me. Like, cause there's plenty of movies that I've really enjoyed where I've like called it.
Yeah.
So like that is what it is. But, I still agree with you in the fact that I think 18 and 33% are both way too low for it. I think it was a solid action movie like that. What are you giving it?
Yeah. No, I guess for my rating, I would give it like a 62. 62 is what I'm thinking. It's not terrible, but it's above down the middle. It's definitely not a terrible movie. So,
Yeah.
What about you?
I think I'm going to probably give it like a 54.
Okay.
I am more kind of down the middle with it. Like I agree. I don't think it's a terrible movie at all. I think it's like, it was a solid, just like weeknight, throw it on and watch it type of thing. You know,
Yeah.
It wasn't one where I was like, oh, I can't wait to watch this. But it also wasn't one where I was like, fuck, I don't want to watch this, you know?
Yeah.
And like, even while I was watching it, it wasn't like I was like, oh, I gotta fucking know what's gonna happen next, but I also wasn't like, really can't wait to turn this off. You know, I was really just kind of like, yeah, I'm watching this movie. You know, that's kind of where I was.
It had me into it. I wasn't on my phone. I was just following the story along, and yeah. So that our combined score brings that to a 58%, which is still above what this is. So yeah. You said 54.
Oh, okay, I see how you
62.
did that so quickly. Yeah, okay. I was like, how'd you fucking do that? I was looking, I was like, where's your phone at? How'd you fucking figure that out? But your phone's recording us right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. It was 8, so you
Yeah.
just split it. Yeah, 4 and 4. Okay.
I can math sometimes.
All right, Timmy. All right.
You can fact check it if you want.
You did go to Cleolum for at least part of it. Same as me. So that's why I was like, how the fuck do you do that? That must have been the Mount Si coming out in you.
You can find this movie on Prime. It's out
Yep.
on Prime for free if you follow that service. So give it a check out. It's not a terrible movie.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah, I mean, I'd definitely recommend to go watch it.
Yeah.
You know, I'd recommend you watch any of the stuff that we watch or talk about on here. So.
It's not trash. It's not
Yep.
toasted.
It's not trash. It's not toasted.
But
It wasn't even for that segment.
Yeah.
Alrighty, we are going to wrap this week up with the Blockbusters question of the week as per usual. Timmy, you posted this one.
I
Posed
posted
it.
this
Posed.
one, and we're calling this one This or That. So I forget how the idea spurred in my head, but I was kind of looking through my movie collection, I think, and I was like, oh, these movies were very similar, and over the times, there has been several movies that have come out in the same year that have the same premise, and Haley was kind of talking about it. It's just like, it kind of is probably it's like a fad. They're just following what is popular at the time. So vampire movies
But the fact
were
with
coming out.
how many of these, all of them came out the same year.
Yeah.
It's a crazy thing. Because it's one thing to like follow kind of a fad or like a theme of what's kind of popular or what's going on. But to have them all literally like, because you got to think about like what all goes into like a pre-production, production, post-production, like all of it for them to then still come out the same year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
kind of crazy that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7
Yeah.
on this list.
And there's more.
yeah, there's plenty more. So yeah.
Yeah. So the question is, again, there have been several movies that have come out with very similar plots and had been released at very similar times and or in the same year. So my question, and we're going to go through a list. You're going to list which one is your favorite, this or that. So first one up in 1998, Bugs Life versus Ants.
Bugs Life.
Bugs Life for me as well. Crazy that it released within 6 weeks of each other. Very similar. Ants was more adult themed.
Yeah, Ants freaked me out as a kid.
Really?
Yeah, it was the whatever they went up against, was it the Beatles or whatever the fuck they
like Grasshopper. No, that was Bugs
That's
Life.
Bugs Life. Yeah,
Yeah.
like when they have the war.
Yeah.
Those things, they freaked me out a little bit.
Yeah.
There's something about Sylvester Stallone playing a jacked ant just threw me off.
Well,
I still like the
true.
movie though. Don't get me wrong. I like them both, but I would pick to watch Bugs Life over Ants
All right.
9 times out of 10.
Next one up, 1997, Dante's Peak versus Volcano.
Dante's Peak.
Dante's Peak as well.
Yeah.
It's the Washington, I think.
It's the Washington. Yeah, it's the Mount St. Helens,
Yeah.
right? It's the and there's just the one fucking scene that is just like heartbreaking.
Oh,
When
yeah.
the in the fucking boat and
Oh,
the
yeah.
grandma like saves them and just fucking they just watch her perish in the
Yeah.
fucking lava. It was fuck
Yeah.
heartbreaking, but like such a good fucking movie.
Yeah.
It's great.
Next up, 1998, Armageddon versus Deep Impact.
I'm going Deep Impact.
I'm going with Armageddon because I have not seen Deep Impact,
Oh, you haven't seen it?
but I've heard a lot of
You
people.
should watch it.
I've heard a lot of people liked Deep Impact a lot over Armageddon as well.
Yeah. I really like both of I like both of them a lot. But yeah, I've always just like, I don't know. There's just something about Deep Impact that I've enjoyed it more. I think it has there's kind of multiple character arcs taking place in it, which I think is more exciting to me than just watching the kind of singular group of astronauts.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because it's like in Armageddon, it's like the group of astronauts and then the people at the space station on Earth.
Yeah.
Right. Where Deep Impact follows, a couple different things that are going on.
Okay.
So
Next up, in 2005, The Cave versus Descent.
I've never seen either of them.
Ooh. Ooh.
So I don't know. Tie.
All right.
I don't know. I've never watched either of those.
Both are creepy. I'm going with The Descent. Yeah.
I've never even heard of The Cave. I'm going to be honest with you. I've heard of
Really?
The Descent. I've never even heard of The Cave.
Both
So
are good.
Descent.
Yeah, there
So
you
that's
go.
the one I've heard of.
There you go. All right. 2006, The Illusionist versus The Prestige.
Prestige.
I'm going Prestige as well.
That's the Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
That's I was like 95% sure when I said Prestige. That's what I was thinking
Yeah.
of.
The other one
Yes.
had Paul Giamatti, Jessica
Yeah.
Biel, and John Cusack, I want to say. All right. 2011, No Strings Attached versus Friends with Benefits.
Friends with Benefits.
I'm going No Strings Attached.
Okay.
Yeah. I like both movies. It was hard to choose between those two, but I
Same.
leaned more towards No Strings Attached. And then lastly, 2013, Olympus Has Fallen versus White House Down.
This one's actually tough for me. I really like both of them. I'm gonna go Olympus Has Fallen, just because I really enjoyed the whole franchise that it's like spawned, But I really like White House Down too. I thought they're very similar, but they're also very different. At the same time. So, but yeah, I'm going Olympus Has Fallen.
I'm going Olympus Has Fallen as well. Yeah. No, I thought it was just crazy to think about how many similar movies. Can you think of any other ones off the top of your head that are very similar?
Off the top of my head, no. Nothing just like coming to mind. I'm sure if I were to actually like think about it for a while, I could probably come up with some, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I could think of like some movies that have similar things, but I don't know if they would have been like the same year or come out that close.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
No
What about,
problem.
do you have any others?
Not
No?
that I can think of.
Yeah.
I was. These were the few that I could think of that I know have been talked about, and wanted to put those down and see what you thought.
It's funny. I didn't realize because like I knew that I had Bugs Life and Ants at like the same time on VHS growing up, but I didn't realize it came out fucking 6 weeks apart.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So, damn man,
Yeah, man.
episode 24.
Episode 24.
You're a little dry over there.
I
got a little drop.
I got a drip drop in there. Got
Cheers,
enough,
man.
Got enough for the final. Cheers. Squeeze out every last bit.